Hi, this is Victoria. My husband John and I give to the Depkes and ILAD in order to transform lives and families in West Africa through a demonstration farm.
Hi, we're calling Maddie Dowler, and we give to the Corshanes and to ILAD to transform the lives and families of refugees in the Dallas area through a business development center.
Pretty good.
Hi, I'm Anthea. This is Bill, and this is our granddaughter.
And we're excited to give to ILAD to transform overlooked communities all over the world. Yay!
Yay!
Hi, this is Rick, and I and my wife Lori give to the Depkes and ILAD to transform lives and families in West Africa through a demonstration farm, which I visited.
This is Maureen and Leonard, and we give to the Wests and to ILAD to transform lives and families in the Mideast through literacy and economic development.
This is Brian and Jennifer Shipman, and we give to ILAD to transform the lives, families, and communities of overlooked people all over the world.
Hi, my name is Josh.
And I'm Annika.
And we're super excited to partner with ILAD on Martin's project.
We are excited about this opportunity because it combines economic development with bringing clean water to many communities for the people in Togo. Will you consider joining with us?
Hi, and welcome. I am Michelle Schubert, Director of Global Resources for International Literacy and Development, also called ILAD for short. This week has been a little bit of a barrage of illness and also technical difficulties, so filling in for Scott was Miranda, and filling in for Miranda is Emily.
Hello, I'm Emily Oldham, and tonight I am really excited to join hands with ILAD to help promote their work that is transforming communities around the world. And also, I am excited to share how you too can join hands with us. Michelle, thank you so much for letting me host this virtual event with you tonight. I know ILAD held a similar event last year, and you all were amazed at how generous people were, taking you past your goal to help move people from just surviving to truly thriving.
Yeah, last year we had a goal of $150,000 to be raised, and instead, you guys donated over $160,000. So that was amazing. And in a minute, we're going to share with you an amazing opportunity to see your gift tonight be doubled. So thank you so much for deciding to join us tonight for another just very special mission. Right now, we're all in the midst of holiday season, of course, and this time of year is associated with things like generosity, hospitality, with loving others, and with blessing others. And so if you are joining us for this event, I suspect that you are the kind of person who loves to give, who loves to bless others. So I would like to know in the comment section, why do you love to give? What motivates you to be generous towards others? And while you're commenting, while you're writing in your answers, Emily, can you tell us a little bit more about tonight's mission and goal?
Yes, absolutely. Right now, ILAD is seeking to launch 10 new projects in 5 countries and expand its work among refugees in the next 10 years. But it isn't about the projects. It's about the people's lives that will be changed and the communities transformed. Tonight, we are going to hear stories of how this is already happening and how many more people can experience that transformation.
Yeah, and like I said, last year you guys gave $160,000. This year, the goal is $500,000 to fuel this mission, to fuel this rocket that is going to launch families and communities here in the US and around the world to flourishing and beyond.
But the viewers might be wondering, Michelle, how can we go from $160,000 to $500,000 in just 1 year? I'm excited to tell you that ILAD has been offered the largest matching gift in their history by a generous ILAD donor. $250,000 to match dollar for dollar to fund these projects around the world. So, how do we give? The easiest way is to fill out the donation form just below this video if you're watching on our website. If you're giving by check, you can use the address that is also listed on the website. You can also call in or text the number 682-463-6056. If you're watching on Facebook or Twitter, you can scan that QR code on the screen or watch for the link in the comment section.
We have also been given $50,000 to use as special grants for our projects, and you get to choose who receives those grants, which projects are going to be funded. Throughout the evening, I will be drawing 10 names out of this bucket. This bucket here has the names of people who registered for this event beforehand. And so if you're virtually present and you hear us call your name, all you need to do is text that number on the screen, 682-463-6056, and let us know that you're here. After the event, somebody will be reaching out to you to find out which project you want that $5,000 to go to. And it's okay if you don't know which project off the top of your head. Our staff can help you find a project that you're passionate about.
That is so exciting. What an awesome opportunity. And it's fun to also give away other people's money.
Right?
How about now we jump into a quick animated video to share with everyone the quick overall 30,000 foot view, if you will, of iLAD's work and mission.
Welcome to International Literacy and Development. We go by iLAD for short. We are glad you're here to learn a little more about us. iLAD is a nonprofit organization focused on holistic transformation among hard-to-access marginalized language groups. We have purposes such as poverty alleviation, access to education, language development, literacy, and economic development. The people we work with are often physically isolated, politically oppressed, and outcast from mainstream society. iLAD believes that all people should have the opportunity to participate in and contribute to the prosperity of humanity. iLAD's holistic approach to engaging communities offers opportunities for real, sustainable change. Our projects provide tangible benefits to the communities we work in. We build meaningful relationships with individuals and governments, which are critical for the success of our projects. We collaborate with other organizations working in the same areas to design projects that allow communities to experience lasting change. Our vision is to see lives transformed in marginalized language communities through literacy and development. We care about local language literacy because we believe that everyone should have access to information and opportunity in their own language. We care about economic development because we believe that everyone should have access to the tools they need to thrive and the economic stability that provides freedom of choice. The people we serve are hard to reach and hard-pressed. They lack hope for the future, and often their everyday lives are hopeless as well. They are stuck in a cycle of poverty that prevents them from making choices to break free from the systems and beliefs that hold them down. By providing access to education and economic opportunities, people have the freedom to choose their preferred future. They can send their kids to school. They can provide food, medicine, and safety to their families. They can pursue opportunities for peace, stability, and prosperity for their communities. iLAD works in 4 core competencies to accomplish its goal. Agribusiness. Many minority language groups live in rural areas. Agribusiness provides opportunities for long-term community engagement and economic empowerment. Local language literacy. A large percentage of minority language speakers are illiterate. iLAD establishes language and literacy centers that teach people to read while simultaneously allowing linguists to develop the language which aids in the translation of life-changing information. Business development centers empower local entrepreneurs to learn business basics and begin profit-generating micro-businesses. This model is based on a coaching relationship that connects aspiring locals with experienced business people from around the world. Human language technology has the potential to bring essential educational resources to underserved language groups while also providing data needed for the beginning of a variety of translation opportunities. It also allows those groups to share their knowledge and culture with majority language speakers. iLAD provides legitimate, sustainable, and beneficial projects in difficult contexts because we desire to see people thriving, mind, body, and spirit. Thanks for watching.
So many people in our world are experiencing tremendous challenges. Many are overlooked, left out, and stuck in a cycle of poverty because they don't have access to education and economic opportunity.
Yeah, and these people don't need handouts. You can never give someone out of poverty. What they need is hope and the tools to move themselves from poverty to flourishing and beyond. And that's exactly what iLAD is about.
But we need fuel to launch this mission. Michelle, how are we doing toward our goal?
Well, let's see. Let's look at the giving thermometer here. It looks like so far we have been given $117,000.
Wow.
Which doubles because it's matched, as we said. So that's $235,000, just over $235,000, you guys. I'm blown away. I'm very thankful for your guys' generosity. And remember, our goal tonight is $500,000, and every donation tonight is doubled up to $250,000. So if you want to see your donation go twice as far, fill out the form below this video if you're watching on our website. Simple, easy form to fill out. You can fill it out while you're still watching. At the bottom of that, you'll be able to see how you can give by check if that's how you prefer to give. You can also text the number on the screen to let us know if you just want to pledge and give later, and we'll follow up with you after to make good on that pledge. You can also call the number on the screen, and a financial representative will take your information over the phone.
And as a reminder, if you're watching on Facebook or Twitter, you can scan the QR code that's on the feed to be taken to the donation form, or watch for that giving link again in the comments. We can do this, everyone. Imagine the lives that will be transformed as you give, and partner with us while we partner with communities to provide local solutions to local problems.
And, maybe you're sitting there thinking, well, my gift would be small and wouldn't matter. And I want to speak against that right now, that's not true. We keep saying we all need to band together. We all are partnering together, joining hands, because together we can accomplish it. No one of us could accomplish it. So please donate what you can and trust that your donation is changing lives. And speaking of changing lives through giving, you guys might remember a couple of years ago, we had an issue in a village that we worked in who didn't have access to a middle school. And this location had no middle school and no high school. And so when children were at middle school age, they would have to walk over 10 kilometers to get to a different village to go to school. And so they would leave on Sunday. And then since it's too far to walk back and forth every day, they would stay all week and then come home on Friday. So spending all week away from their parents and in a location without, parental support or guidance, etc. And in addition to the social ills you might imagine with children being away from their parents all week, unfortunately, the little girls were being abused, pressured, and mistreated by the men in that area. And in one school year alone, there were 22 pregnancies of middle school girls. 16 of them were by the teachers themselves. Now, the knee-jerk reaction of this community was, well, I guess our girls aren't allowed to go to school anymore after 5th grade. But thank God there was a man in the village that stood up on behalf of all the girls and said, no, that's not good enough. We can do this as a community. And so they banded together. They were able, between all their resources, they all pooled their time and their money, and they actually all physically pitched in to help build. They built half of a middle school, and they employed 4 of the 6 teachers that they needed to properly run the school. But at this point, they were out of resources. So that's when iLad stepped in, and we came to you guys, the donors, told you the situation, and asked if you guys would be willing to stand up for these little girls. So I want to invite on Brenda Holland, our executive director, to tell us a little more, just give us an update about that. Brenda Holland is, as I said, our executive director here at iLad. She herself lived in Togo for many years, teaching locals how to read and write their own language, and also many other community development strategies. So Brenda, welcome. Uh-oh, we've got you muted. There we go.
All right, there we go. Sorry about that. Michelle, thank you so much for inviting me to come give an update on the school. I'm super excited to be here with you and with all the donors out there. Welcome to everybody out there. I wish I could see your faces, but I'm just so happy and thankful to be here. Michelle, like you noted, that problem with the school was a real problem. But because so many of you gave, over 100 middle school students in rural Togo were able to stay in their village and continue their education this past year. And if it weren't for many of you, these students would either have not been able to go to school past elementary, or they would have had to live away from their home to get that education. And it was also exciting news that we had 90% of these students pass and go to the next grade this past school year, which is really impressive. Another exciting update is that there wasn't a high school in this area, and so for all the graduating middle schoolers, for them to be able to attend a high school, which the nearest one was like 20 kilometers away, our amazing donors provided a new high school this year, and we have a starting class of 20 students. And this is a real big deal that these students can continue their secondary education while living at home. And I just want to thank the donors so much. This is truly transformational for these students.
Wow. That has really changed the future for these children. And that's important to me, being somebody that I met some of the little girls. And so it was on my heart for a long time to see the middle school and the high school be built. In fact, we've even begun to talk about a college fund for those girls.
Wow, this is so incredible. Brenda, this is amazing. Now, this is education for children, but I know that iLad also does a lot of educational development for adults too. Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, I'll tell you about one project that we've been doing the last couple of years. It's in another country in West Africa. It is a mobile library project. These libraries are big trunks of over 300 books in the language, and it gives folks in the villages access to information that they didn't have before. And this past year, 13 mobile libraries have been planted, and you can imagine that it's kind of tough to lug around a big trunk of books that has 300 books in it. But our donors provided a truck, and now these villages can have more libraries. And of course, in Africa, if you are going to have a new library, there's got to be a big celebration. And if you have a big celebration, you have to have a lot of important people to attend. So now they can all go because of the truck. And so we just are so thankful for you giving people access to information in their language. It's so valuable. We appreciate our donors so much.
Yeah. And thank you again for all of you that gave toward the library initiative. And that really is transforming that whole region. And from what I know, the people there are really championing their own learning. They're excited to start new reading groups and community groups in their own villages and the surrounding villages. So that's really neat to hear. Brenda, what else, where else, I guess, are we seeing locals who are really able to take control of their own future because of our donors?
Well, another project that we raised money for last year during this event at the end of the year, and it has launched just 1 month ago. It took us several months to get it all ready, but we have a business development center that just launched in Togo, West Africa. So in Togo, in the big city, a lot of people like to open up small shops for goods and services, and we're coming alongside of some of these budding entrepreneurs to help them design successful small businesses through this business development center. We have an amazing lady. Her name is Afiwa. She is our administrative director, and we've just started our first class of 7 students. learn how to their own business, and they're being coached along the way. And it's really fun to hear about the types of businesses that these entrepreneurs are building. There's businesses like a cocoa powder production business, pig rearing, mushroom farming, legal counseling and assistance services, medicinal products, and a well drilling business, which is super exciting. And these businesses are being built with the intent to transform their own communities. And as we speak, some of our business coaches are in Togo for a training with these students. So it's super exciting.
Wow, this is absolutely amazing. And that's quite a variety of businesses being started. Brenda, what else is ILAD doing in this business sector?
Well, the donors, ILAD donors, just this past year in Southeast Asia, so a whole other part of the world, they helped open a language technology center in the middle of a pandemic, which is amazing too. And this center is actually one of the first businesses in the world that's creating human language technology for low resource languages. And this is a company that's going to serve as a connection point between the language community and technologies that exist, making these resources available to these speakers of low resource languages. The project that this company will do, there's several things that they're going to be working on. One is a dictionary app. Another one is a crowdsourced language data app. And this is an innovative solution for collecting language data, because that's one of the biggest problems, biggest barriers for being included in gaining access to technologies that other languages like English or French or Spanish, they have those technologies, but low resource language groups don't. And so this is a way that we can collect language data. And also a machine translation app like Google Translate is being developed by this business. And then also they're developing a language learning app, which is amazing.
Yeah, that is amazing. It's exciting, it's innovative, and we'll actually get to hear more about our human language technology program later this evening. But Brenda, do you mind telling us about the initiatives for women in the Middle East?
Sure. There's a really amazing project that I love to talk about. It is a women's micro enterprise called Freedom Designs. And our team in the Middle East has been teaching women to make handicrafts and jewelry, and then they sell those to individuals and even bigger stores in the area. They started out with just a couple of women, and then they added a few more this year, and there's a couple of more ladies waiting in the wings. And really what's truly transformational is that this is what's being done for women who usually beg for a living. So they are starting to be able to find livelihoods for their own families right within their own resources. At the same time, this community is experiencing, for the first time ever, their language being documented and written. And it's just a delight to see the community being excited over seeing information in their own language. And we're complementing that with literacy classes and also life skill classes. So all of these efforts are bringing dignity to the whole community.
Wow, absolutely incredible. Elevating a language is so important for dignity of people. I just absolutely love that. Brenda, you've updated us on donors and how donors have changed the lives all around the world. But what about right here in the U.S.?
Yes, right here in Dallas, we have over 30 Rohingya refugees that are involved in an in-home trauma-informed English as a second language class. These folks have been in refugee camps most of their lives, so when they arrived in America, they've had little to no formal education, which means they're pre-literate. So now they're able to learn English in a way that's culturally and instructionally appropriate. We've also added a citizenship track to these ESL classes for the more advanced students. And we just celebrated with 4 new U.S. citizens from this refugee company. Woo! And we also are creating videos that you can find on YouTube. They are in that local language, and they share critical sector information with this community. Of course, if you went and looked at it, you won't be able to understand it, but you can see how we're doing these videos. And also, this coming week, we are hosting a community health event where local Rohingya women will be educating their own community on matters of women's health. How exciting is that? Like, they're doing it themselves, which is really exciting. I also want to give a big shout out right now to the Texas Women's Foundation and the Harold Simmons Foundation and the Hatton W. Sumner's Foundation for their tremendous support in this work. Michelle, also, I just want to say again how thankful I am for our wonderful donors. All of you out there, thankful for you and your partnership in these endeavors. They're truly bringing human flourishing around the world.
Thank you, Brenda, for joining us tonight and providing that exciting update about some of the ways that together we, our ILAD donors, ILAD, and communities around the world are a part of transformation together in ways that are tangible and sustainable. Thank you again so much, Brenda.
Thank you.
And Emily, I love how you just mentioned that our projects are, or that this transformation is happening in a sustainable way. And I know sustainability is kind of a buzzword right now these days, but in our projects, it really is true. You know, people, I hope, who are watching have noticed that often our initiatives focus on women in the area. And we kind of have a saying about that. We say, teach a man to read and you've changed his life. Teach a woman to read and you've changed a generation. And of course, this is because the children are always with their mothers, and the mothers will teach them what they themselves are learning as well. In fact, I met one of these women in West Africa who had never had access to education before. And then she started encountering ILAD, and she went through our literacy program, and she learned how to read and write her own language. She did teach her children, and now she has a son in university. And she guaranteed me that her other two children are going to go to university as well. So.
Oh my gosh. Michelle, I absolutely love that story. That just gives me goosebumps right now listening to that. Lives are truly being changed in body, mind, and spirit over the long haul.
Yeah.
Michelle, I don't know about you, but I think right now it's time for another update on giving.
All right. Yeah. Let's see where our giving is at. It looks like $180,000 has been given. And so that doubles to $360,000, almost $361,000 right now has been raised. You guys are amazing. Thank you for that generosity.
Wow, that's absolutely amazing. Thank you all so much. A brief reminder of just how to give. Use the giving form below if you are on our website, the QR code on Facebook or Twitter. You can call or text in to pledge your gift, and that number is on the screen. It is 682-463-6056. Remember that your gift will be doubled. So $100 becomes $200. $500 will become $1,000. $5,000 becomes $10,000. With every dollar being used to be a part of transforming lives here in the U.S. and all around the world. Michelle, I think right now it's time to draw our first names for the $5,000 grants. These are people who registered before the event. Michelle, are you ready to draw those names?
Oh, I'm ready. So I have all the names in here of people who registered. And I'm going to right now draw two names. And if you hear your name called, you must be present to win. Go ahead and text the number on the screen to let us know you're here, and we'll follow up with you after the event to see which project that you want this $5,000 to fund. The first name is Ann Zupke. I'm hoping I'm saying that right. Ann Zupke. Second name is Chris Tran. Chris Tran and Ann Zupke. Make sure to text in and let us know you're here.
Michelle, we're about to show another animated video, but I'd like to share why we have animated videos here in the program tonight. So, Imagine speaking a language that does not have many resources available to it. You may not be able to access written information at all. Imagine having a language that isn't even written, it's just oral. One way that iLad serves people is by making animated videos that relay vital information for them to understand.
Yeah, so in these communities that can't access digital information or any information in their language, we'll often make a video, sometimes on things like tuberculosis prevention or tuberculosis treatment and management or proper hand washing technique or healthy eating, things like that that help inform the community on how to better their lives.
Yes, iLad is even working here in the US with Rohingya refugees and language experts to develop a new video series on diabetes education to meet the critical health education need that they are facing currently. Also, these videos can then be replicated for other languages in the future.
Yeah, and making something that's easy to replicate is kind of a mode of operation for iLad. It's one of the things that makes iLad so unique and also so effective, that many of our initiatives are meant to not only be replicable, but they're actually intended to be self-replicating. And so that being said, we're hoping that this next animated video shows you a glimpse of how far your giving can really go.
At International Literacy and Development, we believe that all people, regardless of language, culture, or color, should have the opportunity to participate in and contribute to the prosperity of humanity. Because of this, we excitedly join hands with overlooked populations to begin processes that use their skills and local resources to solve their individual problems and also those of their community. Our methods are uniquely impactful because we develop solutions that are easy to replicate even to the poorest, most overlooked, or most disconnected people in the area. Meet Papa Noah, a farmer in West Africa. Like many farmers in his region, he worked hard on his farm, but despite his efforts, his children still often went hungry. When he saw that iLad's demonstration farm was producing up to 10 times more profit than he did, he came to learn from iLad. He learned new farming methods that were easy to imitate on his own farm, including adding various new avenues for income. This way, Papa Noah isn't relying on only one type of crop for sustenance. Because of the transformation that has taken place on his farm, he produces enough to provide for all his family's needs: food, education, healthcare, and more. Now, when his family, friends, and neighbors come to visit him, they can see how much his farm has grown by using what he learned. Naturally, many of them return home and imitate iLad's techniques for themselves. By doing this, their own farms succeed, and they are now also able to pass on these techniques to their neighbors and friends. And so the benefits of the demonstration farm are shared and multiplied. As this happens, the economy in the whole region grows, all because of one demonstration farm. In the same way, iLad's literacy programs are also designed to be self-replicating. Because of oppression, poverty, or geographical difficulties, many people with whom iLad works do not have access to education. But imagine trying to navigate day-to-day life without the ability to read, or trying to run your own business without the ability to write. Thus, iLad prioritizes literacy programs, knowing that literacy is a powerful tool for success. We start with one trained literacy teacher who holds classes in a village or town, teaching locals how to read and write in their own language. Throughout the course, the teacher identifies students that demonstrate the ability to teach. The selected students are offered training in teaching and then are sent out to teach literacy classes of their own, giving others in the region the same opportunity to receive an education. This cycle continues as these teachers identify and train others in the same way, sharing what they've learned with surrounding communities. Through an iLad literacy program in her village, Kathy, who never had access to education and didn't know how to read or write in her own language, is now able to read about different farming techniques and continues to learn on her own. She is also grateful that she can now participate in her children's education. Because of the benefit of her literacy class, she has flourished, owns 2 of her own farms, and can afford to save money and send her children to school, even university, thus breaking the cycle of poverty. With programs like these, local people are empowered to take ownership of making their communities better. ILAD's programs are strategically designed to avoid reliance on outsiders and instead to promote local solutions to local problems. We desire to see this model implemented in agriculture, education, and business programs throughout Africa and the rest of the world, leading to lasting change that empowers communities to use their resources and skills to create a better future for generations to come.
So I really hope that you guys can see that your gift tonight is not only doubled, but it's multiplied over and over again. Okay, so we have another update. Let's see the giving thermometer one more time. Looks like you guys have given $184,000. That has been doubled to almost $370,000. That's amazing. You guys, look how close we are. Look at that rocket. Look how much fuel we have, and look how much not very much fuel is needed to finish out this goal tonight. If you've already given, feel free to give again. If you haven't given and you're wondering if you should, I hope that you do, and that you know how much transformation you're causing, that you're giving to the world through your gift.
Wow, this is absolutely amazing. Thank you to everyone who is here tonight with us. Again, the easiest way to give is to fill out that form below the video if you're watching on our website. If you're giving by check, you can use the address that's listed on the website as well, or you can call or text the number that's on the screen, 682-463-6056. If you're watching on Facebook or Twitter, you can scan that QR code on the video stream or watch for the comments section, and the link will be posted in there. Thank you again, everyone, so much for your generosity tonight. Michelle, let's draw some more names for our $5,000 project grant. Drum roll.
All right. So I'm drawing names of people who registered. If this is your name, text us and let us know that you are here, and we'll follow up with you after the event to see which project you want $5,000 to go to. Maureen Hansen. Brian Collins. And Scott Brady. Woo! If you guys can go ahead and text in to let us know that you're here, that you're present, and we'll follow up with you after the event.
Yes, Maureen, Scott, and Brian, be sure to text us or comment, "I'm here," right away. Earlier, I mentioned people who don't have many, if any, resources in their language. This is certainly the case for the refugees ILAD works with here in the States. And it's also the case for most of the people ILAD works with worldwide, meaning that their language is likely unwritten or still in the process of standardizing the written form. So there aren't tools available like books or digital resources. There are huge barriers to accessibility. So there's no Google Translate or other translation tools for them to use. Many of us have never thought about this plight before. For example, growing up here in the US, parents are able to look up and Google, what is this rash on my child? Or if we're experiencing some symptoms and illnesses, we can go to Google right away and look it up quickly. This is the reason for ILAD's human language technology projects.
Yeah, in just a few months ago, I actually got to go to one of our locations and visit with our director of human language technology. And in this location, you, the donors, are funding human language technology projects as a way to empower the minority speakers. So I interviewed Dr. Daniel Wilson, and I asked him to describe why these initiatives are so important to move people from poverty to flourishing and beyond. Let's watch the video.
Imagine that you want to communicate with somebody to ask information about some political crisis going on, and you're trying to get the information that's critical to keep you and your family safe, but you have no means of accessing the news. You can't read about it. You can't ask your questions because all that information is a language that you don't know. What if you spoke a language that had no utility online whatsoever, that you could not access critical information that meant the difference of your children getting the medical treatment that they needed? Imagine that you just got a job in a new factory that just came to your community, and all the information about how to operate the machinery safely. If it's not the language that you understand the best, there's potential safety risks, and you won't be able to be as effective in your job. What if the language that you spoke was a barrier to you accessing life-saving information? That's the case for thousands of languages around the world right now. Language technology provides you the opportunity to access that critical information in a language that you best understand. I'm Dr. Daniel Wilson, and I lead the Language Technology Initiative for ILAD, and I'm the Executive Director of XRI, which is a research institute that brings together academia and innovation with the development sector. If you could imagine all the content that exists online as an information superhighway, as a superhighway that is filled with the collective intelligence of humanity, human language technology is the on-ramp to access the information. Every single day, more and more information that's helping people around the world in medicine, in business, in technology, communication with other people that have really good ideas, the opportunity to read about ways to fight diseases. All of this is information that exists in digital spaces, online. And until you have a means to access that technology, you're missing out on those ideas. So if you have technology in your language, you can learn from, access, and add your voice to all the digital content that exists.
So let's break this down. We first build a foundation by creating keyboards for their languages, also predictive text, spell check, autocorrect. These are things ILAD is already having great success in. With that foundation, we can now add the next layer, which is machine translation. Think Google Translate, that sort of thing. ILAD is working in that space right now. And on top of that, the possibilities are endless because now their on-ramp to the information superhighway has connected them to the rest of the world.
And so what language technology is doing is making sure that these communities, low resource communities, have the same opportunities that you and I have every single day without even thinking about it. It's the spark that's needed. It's the small idea that begins with just introducing people into this space that then can catapult a whole community into engaging with the global marketplace, accessing educational material that's out there and readily available. It's just, we need that layer of interpretation to exist for them to be able to access that information. To access global educational information, global markets, that's what we're building at ILAD. And that's what's going to help lift these communities out of poverty. If ILAD can build these on-ramps to this information superhighway, this means millions of people headed towards human flourishing, opportunity, innovation for the good of their families and their communities.
Wow. Isn't that an innovative way to give people the tools they need to move to flourishing and beyond?
Yeah, it is. And one thing I wanted to point out right now is that you guys just saw Dr. Daniel Wilson on that video. And he lives there in the Caucasus region, working in human language technology in the minority language of that area. Now, he and many, many other coworkers are also living all around the world, usually in developing areas. These people are pouring their lives into their work, into work like this to bring vulnerable people, to bring overlooked people into a state of flourishing, providing them the tools that they need to not be left out, to not be left behind, but actually empower them to be able to fashion their own tools and slay their own dragons, so to speak. So in keeping with the theme tonight, ILAD already has the rocket, all right? That's our systems and our initiatives that are already in place. And we've got the astronauts, people like Daniel Wilson, people like many other coworkers, but we need the fuel, and that's you guys, the donors. This rocket does not launch without your participation.
Absolutely, yes. This is a full team effort. And to launch this, we need that rocket fuel. Michelle, how about an update? How much rocket fuel do we now have?
All right, let's see the giving thermometer. Looks like there has been over $185,000 given. And so we are sitting just over $370,000. You guys, we're inching our way closer to that 500,000. We can do it tonight.
Wow. We still have some time tonight to unlock the rest of that $250,000 matching grant. Let's see if we can do it. Remember, the easiest way to give is to fill out that giving form just below the video. If you're giving by check, you can use the address on the website. Or if you're watching on Facebook and Twitter, you can scan that QR code on the screen and it'll take you directly to the giving form. Also, remember that at the bottom of the screen, the call or text phone number has been going. You can also text and call that number at any time tonight, 682-463-6056. Michelle, how about we draw a few more names?
All right. So again, in this bucket here, I have the names of everyone who registered before the event. And if I call your name right now, you get to designate $5,000 of somebody else's money to the project of your choice. So, Charles Pearson. Charles Pearson, if you're here, give us a text to let us know. We'll follow up afterward to see which project you want to give to. John and Sherry Schubert. Woo! Go ahead and call or text to see which, or to let us know that you're here. And last but not least for right now, Robert Solon. Robert Solon, something like that. Robert, if you're here, also please make sure to text us.
Yes, please make sure that you text, I am here to claim those grants and to be a part of changing lives for the project of your choice. So, Michelle, as we come to our last segment tonight, we want to share with you, our viewers and donors, about an extremely exciting way to be a part of transforming lives, families, and communities through business.
Yeah. As you guys may remember from our first animated video tonight, that one of our main focuses as an organization is business. And you would have also heard our executive director, Brenda Holland, talking about that because of your generosity over this past year, we were able to provide business training and mentorship to help local people where we work to start and successfully run their own businesses. And this is happening right now because of your giving last year. I was working in one of our locations in West Africa and was amazed at how many people's lives were transformed through our agricultural training. But not everybody in that area is a farmer, and not everybody in that area has land to farm. So just this fall, going on right now, as Brenda mentioned, we have launched our business training program to help move all kinds of peoples, farmers and others, into starting their own businesses, to move themselves from poverty to flourishing and beyond through running profitable businesses. This is one of those businesses that is going to transform their communities. And a very special business that's being started that Brenda mentioned is strategically targeting one of the big issues that its community is facing. So let's watch this video from our field partner, Latte Lawson in Togo.
Hello everyone. My name is Latte Lawson Simle. I'm field director of ILAS Togo. I'm a supervisor of a mission farm where we implement new technology in agriculture and implement it and then show it to the local people. And we work hand in hand with local people to improve their life through agriculture. And in the rural area in Africa, we are facing one of the big challenge, and which is water. And water is very difficult to get here. And even it is said by United Nations that every 15 seconds, one child died in the world because of drinking dirty water. Every 15 seconds, one child lost his life because of having access to clean water. So we think in Island Togo that we can do something by helping local people in the rural area to drill borehole, drill a well to get the clean and fresh water. And we want to do that by having our own drill rig, and then drill for people in the city, get the money, and then come back to the rural area, use part of the money we get from drilling for people in the city to drill in the village pro bono, so that they can have access to clean water. So, and this is what we are envisioning to do in the near future in 2022. And we will be very glad to see you join us in this journey. May the Lord bless you. Thank you very much.
So there's a clean water crisis in this area of West Africa. And I suppose we could go raise a bunch of money and dig a well, go raise a bunch more money and dig another well. But that would take a lot of money and a long time. And worst of all, it would leave the local people out of their own solution. So instead of us going in and drilling the wells, we're providing business training to a local man named Martin. Now, Martin is trained as an electrician. He also has some borehole drilling experience already, and we're helping him to start and run a sustainable well drilling business. He's also agreed, as you heard on that video, to for every for-profit well he digs in the city, he'll dig one for free out in a village that needs it. So this is going to solve the clean water crisis from within their very own people, all the while providing livelihoods for Martin and his employees.
Mm-hmm. But this training and the expensive tools for drilling need funding. They need rocket fuel to launch this dream of transforming an entire region through business and clean water. It isn't cheap. We're estimating a startup cost of $120,000, but it will be worth it. And remember that your gift to fund this project and others is doubled here. Yeah. In fact, we already have received $20,000 to launch this community transforming business. I've even seen it before at a previous university fundraiser where I've witnessed a group of people, friends and family members come together because they didn't think that they had enough money to give. So they each gave a small amount, but collectively together, they were able to raise enough money for an incredible scholarship opportunity, which this may be an idea for you and some of your friends. You could come together, pool your money, and give that $50,000, which will be doubled tonight to $100,000 by our match. This would mean that we would have enough to start this business. Then you would know that you and your friends ended the clean water crisis for at least 18 communities in West Africa.
That is a really fun challenge, actually. I want to piggyback on that. So consider banding together with friends or family, or maybe it's your church or some other community group that you're a part of. Maybe it's a soccer team or something that you play on. Band together and see if you guys could raise that money, raise the rest of the $50,000 that we need to launch that business to drill those wells. In fact, if there's somebody watching right now that would like to take that challenge, I know that we can extend our matching grant till the end of the year. So if there's someone out there who thinks that maybe they've got some really inspired friends, or maybe their community is super generous, super caring, something like that, if that's you, Would you call in or text us at that number on the screen to let us know that this is an endeavor that you would champion with us?
Absolutely. That would be so exciting. It would be absolutely amazing to know that you were a part of changing and literally saving the lives of so many people. So, Michelle, let's remind everyone one last time how they can give and see their gift tonight doubled.
Right. So you guys know that we are inching closer and closer to our goal of $500,000 to be raised tonight. And we have that $250,000 sitting there waiting to be matched dollar for dollar. So in order to give, the easiest way to give is to fill out the form below this video if you're watching on our website. If you're watching on Facebook or Twitter, you can scan that QR code and it'll take you to a giving form as well. If you prefer to give by check, there's info about that on the bottom of each giving form. And if you would like to, you can also call or text that number on the screen. If you text us, just let us know what you plan to give, what you would like to pledge, and we'll be able to add it to our running total and follow up with you later.
Before we close our time together, we get to draw our last few names for that $5,000 grant.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to draw 3 more names, and one of them dropped out. Let me put it back in. I'm going to draw 3 more names, and again, if you're here, text us, let us know that you're here. Morgan McCann. And if you are watching, text and let us know that you're here. Larry Mullins, if you're watching, text and let us know that you're here. And who is it going to be? Wanda Davies. Wanda Davies, if you are watching, go ahead and text and let us know that you're here.
Hey, Michelle, how about we get another update from our giving thermometer?
All right, let's see. Our last update here. How are we doing? We've had over about $186,000 given. And so we're sitting just underneath that $400,000 mark. You guys, we are so close, and I am blown away by your generosity tonight. Thank you guys all so much for giving. This has been a really, really, really great evening. I'm very blessed that you guys were all able to join us, and that you, again, have been so generous tonight. We've said it before, and I hope you do know that we mean it, that this work goes on because of you, that all the things you heard about tonight are happening because of your generosity. And so you truly are the fuel that is propelling our work. You're truly the fuel that is moving people from being stuck in a cycle of poverty to being able to flourish and even more. So we're going to leave the giving link open so that if you weren't able to join us tonight live, you can watch and give after the fact. And you can give in the same ways. You can fill out the form below the video if you're watching on the website. You can scan that QR code to get taken to the giving form. You can send in a check to the address you see at the bottom of the giving form, or you can call that number 682-463-6056.
I feel so blessed, and I have had an absolute blast joining you, Michelle, and the iLad family for this incredible event. Once again, thank you all so much for joining us, for giving, and most of all, for being a part of changing lives, families, and entire communities.
To flourishing
and beyond.